Welcome back to Not Ashamed. I'm your host, Ashley Nordman, and I'm back today with Bart Pietrzak.
That's very good.
Thanks for being here.
That was really good. That's awesome.
My first question is, how do I get a dumpy?
A dump truck? A dumpy. Now, you have to clarify because this is a great topic. This needs to be addressed.
Wow, okay.
There's strong feelings on dump trucks right now.
Like an actual dump truck or an ass?
An ass.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion on dump trucks.
I'm like, do we like Mac? Is that the brand we're into?
Peterbilt.
Peterbilt.
Fucking nothing.
Or nothing.
Okay. True story. All right. Asses have become so popular that so many girls are now injecting fat and cellulite from one spot into their butts, and they're creating a butt out of fat. And I'm here to tell the human race to stop fucking doing that. Okay? Anybody who has any sort of fitness background, anybody who's involved in the gym, anyone who gives a shit about health can clearly see that it is not muscle. And we are in understanding that an ass is a muscle.
Yeah.
So if your ass jiggles for half a second after you stop moving, that is not an attractive thing.
Like men don't like that?
Fuck no. Okay. The ones that think they like that have either not experienced one in real life and they just scroll through Instagram and see a girl bent over in a thong and they're like, oh, look at that ass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or they really don't care what you look like and will take anything and just assume that that's good. So any dude who is worth a damn when it comes to like any physical appearance or health, if you have twigs for legs, you have kind of a muffin toppy, and you're standing there and I can see your ass from the front, not a good look. And girls need to stop doing that. Okay?
Yeah.
Strong single leg movements, hip thrust, deficit step ups, squats, deadlifts, like the things that actually grow a glute, that's what makes your ass look good. And if you get frustrated because you're like, I have a big ass, but it just doesn't look right, it's because it doesn't move.
Yeah.
A good ass, when you bend over, needs to stay high. It needs to stay firm. If it just flops around wherever you are, that's why you're unimpressed with your own ass when it's out of clothing. I'm sure it looks good in leggings. I'm sure it looks good in the fucking tight pants and all that shit. But the reason why you're self-conscious to go into a bathing suit or whatever is because you have a muffin top sticking out of the back of your butt. And it doesn't look good.
Like a muscular ass is going to look great in a swimsuit.
It's going to look good all the time.
Yeah.
Like the goal should be to look good naked.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think that that's like a thought out process with a lot of shit now.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, for girls, now there's for dudes. I've seen like inserts for shoes that make dudes taller.
No way.
For sure. Yeah.
Just own what you've got.
What do you do when you finally get the chick and it's like time to step out of your shoe?
And then you have to reveal
you know
that
what I mean?
you really
like,
are.
It's like you lower by an inch getting ready for sex. And she's like, what the fuck? You're hoping that she just goes, fine, you might as well since you're here? I don't get it. But the same thing with chicks have been doing that for years, right? Like the tight-waisted, like pull-ups and then chicken cutlets for the boobies and then like there's pads for your butt. And like, what do you do when you finally get the guy? Like, when you take all that off, what do you...
You're like butt naked. You're like, this isn't what I signed up for.
Well, if the dude's still down, then you didn't have to do all that shit in the first place.
True.
You know what I mean?
So much effort wasted.
For what? Why'd you buy all that shit?
You think people really get BBLs and injection in their ass?
Yeah.
I really don't feel like that's real.
Oh, it's so apparent.
Seriously?
It's so easy to see. It's so easy to spot.
I'm going to start looking now.
If the butt, like you can tell, like if there's no actual quad or hamstring.
Yeah.
Like you can just tell if someone has muscle or doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. For someone who's in the fitness world and like I see muscles all day, every day.
Yeah.
It's so easy to tell. Like when a person walks, you can see muscles contract. And so if this person walks and nothing's going on but blah, 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 that's fat.
I saw this girl at the airport and I swear to fucking God, it was like a wave in the ocean while she walked. It was like
It's weird.
And she definitely had a BBL, now that you say that.
And it doesn't, like...
It doesn't even match.
It doesn't, but like, I'm sure bent over it looks great. Because like, that's like the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Like, she has 15 bent over photos.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
On social media, she's probably viral, but in real life, it looks horrible.
It looks weird.
Yeah.
It looks weird when you sit down and you've got like an extra like 3 inches on each side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have a
Yes.
tiny waist and I don't know, man. I just think that everyone exaggerates everything, and like, girls take it to a spot, and then the guys pretend they like it because they don't know any different, and then like the girls go, if you like that, watch this, and then it just spirals out of fucking control. I don't know if it's the dude's fault or the girl's fault, because like, I don't know if you agree, but like, I'm assuming everything dudes do is because they think chicks like it, and everything chicks do is because they think dudes like it.
I don't see why that wouldn't be the case, you know? Like, why would a girl try to look good for... I mean, yes, there's probably people listening that are going to be like, well, I just do it for myself. Well, yeah, but you also want a partner, and that's like innately in your brain that you want to like not be alone.
Well, but so like, my point is has there ever been a dude who's like, you know what, I would definitely date that girl if her eyebrows were different?
No. No.
But every girl gives a fuck about her eyebrows.
Yeah.
And no dude cares about your eyebrows.
But I think it's like the overall like look. Like women, women want to look like they take care of themselves, and like they want to be like visually pleasing, like everyone does, you know? So it's like, yeah, you're not going to pick someone over their eyebrows, but like their entire look, if they look like a scrub, you're not going to be like into that.
That's valid. I guess I didn't think about that.
So if they had a unibrow, you're like, she probably don't really take care of herself.
If you had yeah.
Like a fucking caterpillar.
You question someone that's like, you couldn't just go, zzz, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like that would take 5 minutes.
Such an easy.
That was a choice.
Exactly.
That you didn't
exactly.
choose.
Like, yeah. Because if I let mine go, like it'll fill in fat.
For sure.
It will fill in fat.
All men, I feel like, are just hairy fucking beasts. That's why I love that you cut your hair. It looks so good. We're going straight Viking. Yeah.
Well,
looks good.
That's why I have to own my own stuff, because I don't know if I get a job anywhere, you know?
Yeah, you have to own it.
You have to just make your own job.
I think when you committed to the tats and the vibe you have, you were like, full send here. I'm just owning my shit.
I still haven't done too bad, because like my hands aren't done, my neck's not done, my face isn't done. I don't really plan to.
You're not going to get a big neck tattoo?
Neck tattoo? It's just going to say neck tattoo.
I think neck tats are kind of hot.
Really? Mm-hmm. What kind? What on the neck would look good? Because I've seen some...
I feel like most neck tats are really not good. Now that you say that.
Are you paying attention to what you've seen? It's either an eyeball or a skull.
Ew,
or
no.
like angel
It's always
wings,
on the side.
Angel wings
usually.
or like the praying hands.
It's a praying.
Right? That's what it is. It's
a rose.
He's he's got a cross right there.
Yeah.
Like, tell me how you definitely don't follow Christ other than putting a fucking Christ tattoo right on the side of your temple. Like, that's for sure that's not the case. I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being judgmental.
So judgmental, as you are the most probably judged man I've ever...
Yes.
Do you feel like you get judged?
I don't know. I don't care.
Be honest.
No. I'll be honest with you.
Do you think people judge you? You think people look at you and they're... I think they do. I think people are intimidated as fuck by you. When I see you at the gym, I'm like... Even I, who knows you very well, sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna let him be.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the intensity?
Yeah, you're intense. Yeah.
But I don't like walk through schnooks like that.
No, but when you're a giant man with muscles and tattoos and a mohawk, people are probably like, he fucking means business.
Okay, so rhyme into the reason. So I think that there's a huge benefit to be authentic, okay? So like, I'm being as authentic as I can do, right?
Yeah.
That's like my thing. I very organic and authentic is what I strive for every day. That means that there's a piece of me that is angry. There's a piece of me that's aggressive. There's a piece of me that's got that fucking testosterone flowing through the vein, and I'm not going to hide that.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the other piece of me that loves that fucking candle you got over there right now, smells absolutely delicious, doesn't exist at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So truly, I think one of the things that I don't know, maybe I'm wrong because I don't talk to the haters, but I don't feel like I have a lot of haters. At least they're not as vocal as other people's haters are. But I think it's because I don't try to be one of the things that I am and pretend I'm not the other thing.
Exactly.
And so because of that, anyone who would have a problem with me being too soft, because I love candles, doesn't have to worry about that, because I also am very aggressive and I'm open about that aggression.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, anyone who would call me a fucking pussy, because I love to go to Kirkland's before Christmas, buy Christmas things for my apartment, knows that I have that aggressive side on top of that too. So it's like, I think because of that, I don't generally hear a lot of things about me personally, but I probably have a lot of people who, just like anybody, armchair quarterback the decisions that I make.
What does that mean?
That means that those who are sitting on the sidelines, watching others live their life, always judge the things that they do based off of them not being involved in the process. So if they see what kind of decisions you make with your business, with your daughter, right, with your ex-husband and all these things, they're not involved emotionally. They haven't done any of the steps of the processes. So on the sideline, without being dirty, they're like, what a dumb decision that was. I can't believe she did that with her daughter. I can't believe that she decided to do that with her business.
Yeah.
I feel that anyone who makes public decisions gets that no matter what.
For sure.
Right?
Because you said more eyeballs and more opinions, and
it's super easy when you're not in, just like if your friend comes to you with advice, like seeking advice about a relationship, and you're like, just fucking leave the dude. Like, why is this so hard for you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because on the outside, without being emotionally invested, you're like, factually, it makes no sense for you to continue what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why you have such a hard time with this.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing, if I don't run a business, I don't own a business whatsoever, and this business makes this one decision, I'm going to use 100% of my analytics for this one decision that I just witnessed. And I'm like, what a stupid decision that was. You could have done this much better with this process and towards these people and this marketing. Like, you completely fucked that up. But what they didn't do is they didn't make the last 7 decisions and live through the processes that got them to the one that they actually witnessed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I just went through my business for the last 2 years and it got me to the point where I just made that decision right there, it would make a lot more sense why I made it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't witness, didn't feel, weren't a part of any of those other decisions, and all you witnessed is just this Black Friday idea, well, of course you have a lot more ideas. You have a lot more energy than I fucking do, because I just poured it into 2 years of shit where you're pouring it into a 15-second thing.
Yeah.
So people who aren't involved in stuff always have more to say. They always have their way of doing it that'd be better. You should have done this. You should have done that. Yeah, if I had 80 more fucking hours today, I would have done what you said.
Or why don't you go start a business?
That's what I'm
saying.
And that's always this trump card of why we're so hard on ourselves, because I know anyone who runs a business is incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Because these people aren't wrong.
Yeah.
When I then look at that decision through their lens, I'm like, fuck, they're right. I could have done
that. Does make sense.
That does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then you forget, like, I was doing shit up until I made that decision. I wasn't just sitting on my hands not doing anything.
Well, and you made the best decision you could with, like, the opportunities and the thoughts that you have. Like, you're just making the best out of what you're capable of, and other people's perspectives are always going to have other things they bring to the table.
Which is, again, the thing to remember, because if they did make that one decision better than you, that doesn't necessarily mean that the last 7 that you made on your own without their advice would have went the same way.
It doesn't make you incapable. Yeah.
Exactly.
You just might have made a mistake, but that's part of running a business, is you just take a risk, and sometimes it fucking doesn't work out, and then you get the feedback and you just learn and pivot. Which
is, I think, where we could maybe benefit from listening to these people, because I think, everyone hears everyone talking shit, so they're like, don't listen to the haters. I go, maybe don't listen to the hater as a personal attack, but listen to the idea that they had.
Yeah.
And go, if there's validity to it, take something from it.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, oh, that's a perspective I didn't really witness. Now, the rest of that human sucks, but that idea that they just did, that's a good fucking idea.
Yeah.
And then you can benefit from the haters and the people who talk shit and the armchair quarterbacks.
Well, and sometimes they bring up things that you just don't think of because it is a different perspective. And while their approach is horrible because they're like shit talking you, it also kind of opens you to be like more open-minded, or like, okay, maybe I was a little like careless in how I said something or shared something, and I did like offend somebody or whatever, and obviously there's better ways of going about it than shit talking someone online, but you can at least like take what you want from it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've been with all my fucking hate I get too.
The thing I think that we need to always like keep in mind, and this is why I'm having a community of other people who are also running shit is important, is it doesn't mean that you're not qualified to do what you're doing.
Right.
Right. When you listen to people who aren't doing what you're doing, them having points of where you've fucked up does not, deflate the fact that you belong doing what you're doing and you need to continue doing it and pour into it and keep trying hard. It doesn't mean that you don't belong as an entrepreneur. It doesn't mean that you don't belong as the runner of your business, because the fucking balls it takes to just do it already qualifies you to do it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Because how many people are actually doing it? Very few. Most people just dream. They're not doing it. And that's what I always like. That's why I love like being around you, because we both own businesses and there's not many people who like actually understand the weight of what we do.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard. And it's a lot of like, you have to just be so self-reliant. You're making a lot of decisions yourself and a lot of people depend on you. And I know like we've kind of talked about just like the difference it makes when you feel like someone understands you and believes in you. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around like why that makes everything so much better, but it does.
I don't necessarily know the answer, but from a, emotional or feeling standpoint, running things is an extremely lonely position because I have the most incredible staff on the planet. I honestly could not ask for more, capable, loving, understanding, hardworking people. Like I literally couldn't if you asked me to. Yet there is still one that needs to direct, and that's who we are, no matter what. And because of that, we understand that it falls on us. Their ability to accomplish what they need to accomplish falls on us. The direction of the company falls on us. And ultimately their livelihood, although their accountability and responsibility is high, it's still us that decides the direction of what we're trying to do and what's important and what's not important. And we're the final say.
Yeah.
And because of that, that final say is a singular position. So when you can attach and connect with someone who's also on that same position, there's like an admiration back and forth, I feel like, because it takes a lot to be that person, that strength and that understanding and that patience. And, any person who runs anything knows that if you were to just behave how you are feeling, you would just yell at everybody all fucking day. Yeah. That's all you would do. You'd just be pissed off and just yell all fucking day. Even though they're doing a great fucking job. Yeah. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So when you meet someone else in that same position and there's an understanding, people have to understand, like, I don't like feeling that way. I don't like feeling like I'm angry about things. I don't like feeling that, I want things to be done a different way than they're being done, and I have to patiently wait and I have to explain. So when you have someone else that has that same weight on their shoulders, that support means more because they get it without having to explain it. And I think ultimately what you were talking about is the connection has to do with the communication style and the ability to feel understood. The fact that I don't have to bludgeon myself to death trying to explain myself is so freeing. It's so much less work. It's so much less burden on my shoulders that when I just come home and I just say the day that I had, someone goes, oh, I get it. And they do.
Yeah. You genuinely know it. They're not just saying it to make you feel better. They're like actually empathizing because they've gone through those same struggles with you. Well, maybe not with you, but like on their end too.
In some capacity, they have a complete understanding, right?
Yeah.
So then whatever help they provide, support, conversation, whatever, it's coming from a very authentic place.
Yeah, it holds more merit.
It holds more weight, That's just that familiarity. There's that. I think a lot of connection happens, without language. So body language or energy transfer, just essence, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it. I feel like that communication is much more important than any vocabulary type of communication. And anyone who's in that same position, you feel the understanding, you feel the support, and then for whatever reason, it creates calmness. And when you're in a position that runs shit, calmness is not a very often felt position.
True.
So that peace you think about it like a rocket launches off of a launch pad that's stationary. You have to be at peace to be powerful. So when you find someone that you can connect with and you create a peace between the two of you, an understanding, a connection, a baseline, when you go then attack your shit, you're coming off a launching pad. You can push off of that. If what you push off of falls away, there's no spring, there's no power, there's no movement. So when you have someone there that's fucking solid with you, you can push off and go attack the day.
Yeah.
Whoop ass, kick ass, do shit that no one else thinks they can do because you have this springboard that they don't.
You're not already like exhausted going into it.
Absolutely.
You feel like fucking ready to attack it.
You don't swim much, right?
No.
Okay. So if you're in a swimming pool, right, and you're in the deep end, can't touch, and you're smack dab in the middle, and you try to swim as hard as fucking can to the side, it takes a little while to get going. You get exhausted by the time you even start treading water because you have nothing around you to use as support. You have to get into position yourself. You have to start fucking kicking and pushing, and you're just in a singular position. You're not even moving yet, and you're still fucking fighting. And then eventually you get some resistance against the water and you start moving. If you're against the fucking wall and you put your feet up against the wall and you fucking kick, right off the bat, you're flying.
Yeah.
So you got to be the wall for somebody. And if someone's your wall, then you can jump off of them and fly through resistance without any fucking problems.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I'm such a visual person, so I love that you're breaking this down visually.
I'm retarded, so like I have to do this to understand my own fucking thoughts. So
that's actually what it is.
I swear to God, I'm not even talking to you right now. I'm just talking.
I'm in third grade.
Yeah. I'm mentally slow. All right. Let me tell you, in second grade, I wasn't allowed to go to recess because I couldn't figure out the fucking alphabet. Okay. So I remember very vividly sitting in
We are the same person.
sitting in Miss Rosenbaum's class, and I got to C, and I was fucking stuck. And then I was stuck for like an hour, and everyone went to fucking recess. And I'm just sitting there looking at this page, and I'm like, bitch, help me, because I don't know the next letter. Staring at this thing isn't going to make it any better. Fuck, help a guy out, man.
Meanwhile, I was already at Z before everyone else was at D.
You were so excited to let them know you were done, and they're still punished you.
Yeah, I had done it 6 times while everyone was still on the first.
Went backwards. Started at the middle, went backwards. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Sometimes a little visual, sparks the power.
It makes such a difference.
It makes it easier to understand.
Yeah, when you explain stuff to me and it's visual, I'm like, I completely grasped that right now.
It would suck to swim without a wall.
Yeah.
Plop yourself in the middle of the ocean. That sucks. Yeah. Push off a boat. Still sucks to be in the middle of the ocean, though. I can't swim that far.
I am horrible at swimming. Do not take me swimming ever. Like, literally ever. I will sink to the bottom like a tire. Does a tire? No.
That's how you know you have no idea about fucking swimming at all. You have no clue. Do tires float?
I don't know.
Audience?
Does a tire float, Aaron?
He goes...
He's like, I'm questioning your existence right now. Actually.
I'm somehow behind the camera and fucking retards over here. Let me know.
He's like, you guys are so.
Are you Googling it right now?
Yeah.
Does a tire float?
Does a tire float? I feel like it does.
It's a really good thing you're pretty. It's really good.
Yes, tires float in water. Especially when a vehicle is traveling at high speeds. What does that mean? Oh, hydroplaning. Worn out tire. I'm not.
That's not.
I just want to know if an actual tire can float.
I think if you look up Blippi, I think my daughter at 1-year-old watched Blippi. I think he fucking knows that answer.
He probably does.
It's a 1-year-old answer.
You realize that Blippi's like counterpart is named Mika, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
We freaked out that one episode where she showed up.
Yeah.
I looked at her. We looked at the TV, and she goes, "That's my name." Yeah, babe, that's your name.
You're like, oh, we named you the same year that Mika came out. Cool.
Isn't that crazy?
It probably was.
Also, my name is Bart, and I was born the same year The Simpsons were created. 1987.
True dat.
Crazy, huh?
My name's Ashley, and I was the #1 name of 1992, the year I was fucking born. So
92. I remember 92.
I'm sure you do. You were 5.
I was doing some shit at 92.
You were riding a...
I was a bully. I threw a rock at some kid's head.
You were a bully?
Hardcore bully. I was bullied, and I very quickly said I could either get fucked up or I can give the fucks.
Were you insecure and that's what made you a bully?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Because I learned when I was older, the bullies that called me Bucktooth Betty on the bus.
Bucktooth Betty?
I had a really bad buck teeth. Like, a big gap. You could put a bus between my teeth. It was so bad. So they would call me that. And then I learned when I was older, I was like, oh, it's because they were just jealous of me. No, not the buck teeth probably, but.
I don't know if they were jealous of me. I don't think there was much to be jealous about.
I know, same.
I feel like I was just a really easy target.
Yeah, me too. I was so nice and trusting.
Yes, exactly.
On my candy and stuff. They're like, this bitch, she'll give me her lunch every day.
Bitch. Dumb bitch. Yeah. And then that's why I started fighting, you know.
Oh, yeah. You did like MMA, right? Is that what you said?
Well, later in life, but at the time it was just called fighting on the playground.
Oh, like that kind of fighting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was like in my mind, it was like prison. If I just went right in and didn't wait to meet anybody and just fucked everybody up, I became the top dog and no one would fuck with me.
Okay. So anger is a big part of your...
It wasn't anger, it was fear.
Okay. Because anger
is fear.
Anger is a secondary emotion.
Anger is a result of fear.
Yeah.
People are angry because they're afraid that they're not communicating properly, that they're going to get taken advantage of, that you're not going to listen to them, that you're disrespecting them. It's always just a fear.
Is that why a lot of men are angry?
Yeah.
Because they're in fear?
They're afraid.
Are they in like fight or flight? Like,
yeah, scared? I mean, that's the thing. You can either run away or you can try to destroy it. So
do some men, like, you think shut down and then others are just going to be like fucking mean or angry?
Shut down happens and then anger because anger only comes from not being able to express yourself, right? And not being able to explain, not being able to work through it, and not ultimately being able to get the answer you're looking for, right? So a lot, like, I had anger issues, not because I'm an angry person, but because I always was scared that I was going to be disrespected, taken advantage of, not listened to, you know, all those things, which ultimately, as a man, I think it comes down to I was afraid I wasn't going to be a man.
Yeah.
And so men generally think that if they're aggressive and angry, that makes them a man.
Yeah.
I'm dominating you. There's a difference between leadership and domination, right? Leadership is, you know, just a supportive role that helps guide into the direction that keeps everybody the most safe.
Yeah.
Right?
Safe. That's the word.
Safe.
And I don't feel like anger is always safe.
No, you know it's unhinged.
It's kind of almost the opposite.
It's a shotgun.
Yeah.
How safe is a shotgun?
Yeah, exactly.
You can probably hit the target, but you're probably going to hit a whole other bunch of shit at the same time.
Like I would almost argue that like women would rather have safe than like something unhinged like that, for sure.
Hey, you've seen American Sniper, the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, in the beginning, his dad is telling him about sheep, wolves, and sheepdogs.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Some people are sheep, some people are wolves, and some people are sheepdogs. A real man is a sheepdog. A sheepdog doesn't go around fucking anything up or destroying things, or it's just a dog. Until a wolf shows up. And then that sheepdog fucks that wolf up. Wolf goes around fucking everything up. Sheep going around getting fucked up. So a real man is a sheepdog. He's just chill. He's doing his thing. He's fucking docile until he doesn't need to be docile. And then he fucking steps up and takes care of the problem.
Selective.
That's exactly what it is. And that's how you can be powerful. Just like a sniper rifle is the ultimate weapon because it's extremely powerful on one little fucking spot. It doesn't fuck anything up except for that one spot. Right? So that's how you have to manage yourself is you got to be a sniper rifle, not just fucking shotgun. Everyone's scared of shotguns. When you walk into someone's house and you hear everyone fucking rolls out of there. Why? Because it's uncontrolled.
Yeah.
He could accidentally fucking kill you.
Yeah, you have no idea what's about to happen.
No idea what he's going to do.
We'll get back to the podcast in just a moment. This episode is sponsored by AN Skin, your answer for all things skincare and beauty. Our medical-grade products, made in the USA, use high-quality ingredients and are clinically proven to give you clear, healthy, youthful skin. Everything is cruelty-free. Visit anskinbeauty.com to shop now and regain your confidence. Now, back to the episode.
I feel like the anger thing is huge because it shows up so much. I don't see it as much with women, and I feel like it's just not in our, like, demeanor as much, you know?
It is.
You think so?
For sure. You guys
tell me.
Are probably twice as angry as us.
Really?
But you create a manipulative, you know, like a
victim mindset?
Sneak attack type shit. Like, when you pay attention to middle school girls, a boy will go around and just punch a boy and then go play on the playground. A girl will try to you eliminate a human being from existence emotionally.
Like get everyone against that.
Every single fucking human that girl knows, everybody's gonna have some dirt on. Like,
so calculated. And those bitches do that now. They'll go on your Facebook and they'll get everyone, you know.
Dude, they'll look at your friends, friends.
Yeah.
Who you
Did you like that picture?
They will literally like have sex with humans just to get back to you.
Literally.
Okay?
Literally.
That's anger.
That is anger.
That's unhinged anger. It's just calculated.
Damn.
I think so. And in my experience, I'm trying to say this as well as I possibly can. I feel emotion takes over the judgment and decision capabilities much sooner and for a much longer period of time than it does in men.
Okay.
I think guys ultimately use logic until their communication breaks down, and then they subject themselves to emotional responses. I think at first there's, and again, there's different levels of maturity. I'm not really saying,
Yeah, you can't make a blanket
statement. There's no way.
But based on what you know.
Generally speaking, in my experience, if there's nothing necessarily wrong, a dude will be very, let's call it naive to what could be going on that's wrong. Meaning, he doesn't make something out of nothing.
They're not looking for it.
Not generally.
Yeah.
Most dudes are, I wouldn't say lazy, but we would choose nothing over something.
Yeah. They don't want to create chaos. They'd rather just be like, everything's good. Everything's good.
She didn't say nothing to me today. We're all right.
Yeah.
Like we're good for another day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why guys do a lot of avoidance.
Avoidant for sure.
Right? They play video games, they go hunting, they drink beer, they do all these things to like disassociate from potential problems.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, women thrive on problems.
Mm-hmm.
They emotionally attach themselves to unemotional subjects in order to create some sort of thing to work through, speak with. I need my girlies to talk about this, and he didn't look at me today, what does that mean? And because
it brings them I don't want to say attention, but it makes them feel important, because then in their friend group, it's like, well, now I have something I need to talk about with the girls and we need to like work through it. Or like, now I've got the tea, and like girls love talking about that shit. I feel like a lot of girls are like that. You're right. Like they create, like there's people in my family that I've seen like in their marriages that have like literally, they cannot just handle boring. There always has to be a problem. They have to create a problem, because it's like, a lot of women, I feel like, are like toxic in that way for some reason, where they just like love the fucking drama.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm like polar opposite. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
It's like the last thing I ever want. Like if my life is boring, I'm happy because I'm at peace.
Most people aren't looking for peace. They think they're looking for peace. And what I think they do is I think that they think that on the other side of this drama and on the other side of this problem, they will find peace. So if I can figure out why he didn't look my direction today, then I can figure out what that means, and then we can have peace afterwards. Mm-hmm. But like, if that's, we talk about the law of attraction. If that's your goal, then the universe will consistently give you your goal. So if you solve this problem and you thrive on there being a problem to solve, the universe is like, here's your next one, and here's your next one, and here's your next one, and here's your next one. So if you thrive on peace and you have full faith and trust, and we have talked about it, knowledge, I know that we're good, then the universe just keeps making that true until it isn't. And then you go, oh, this isn't that. And then you can fucking move on and disassociate very quickly. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take you a whole lot of process to figure out something or someone isn't working, because you go, peace is my answer, not traversing drama. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if I'm choosing peace first, and I assume that you are here to provide me peace, then I don't look at your actions other than peace is the intent. Now, what it may look like or may sound like, or third party comes and brings me some bullshit, I filter it through peace first. I go, how could that be peaceful first? She talked to two dudes and they were laughing. Okay, well, I believe in peace. I believe we're in peace right now. So, well, I don't know. Maybe they're husbands of the fucking people that buy her skincare product. Maybe she's just being a kind person, because it'd be very awkward to be mean to people for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this like tranquility about you that provides whoever you're judging space to also be calm, because they don't have to walk on eggshells and they can just act organically and not feel like whatever they're doing is going to be micromanaged and spyglassed on. And all of a sudden you end at peace.
Yeah.
And now, the thing that people will, I think, respond to that with is they'll say, well, yeah, but then you get the opportunity to be taken advantage of, or people will take your understanding and run, a little bit too far. They'll cross lines. And the response to that is good. If someone is a cross-line person, let them cross the line as fast as they possibly can cross that line, so you don't waste any fucking time with them.
Seriously.
Like, why would you want the only reason for your person not to cheat on you is because you controlled them not to?
Yeah, that's fucking torture.
Awful.
That sounds horrible.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So in that book, that Untethered Soul, that you still haven't started.
It's a very nice.
It looks great on.
It looks really good on my nightstand.
It does.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So
the light blue, it's a good accent.
A little horse on the beach.
A little horse on the beach.
It looks like you know what you're doing.
It does.
Right? So in that chapter, there's a chapter in there. Was it? Coin. Has a coin on it. We'll let everybody else figure out what the fuck that means. Coin.
Isn't there an accent on it?
The N.
The N?
Coin.
Coin. Is it the dangly one?
No, it's
Is it
just a little.
What's that called?
I have no idea.
Okay, me either. I was trying to figure it out.
Coin.
Con.
K-O-N with a.
Con.
Yeah.
Not to be mistaken for cheese, which is sir.
Very impressed that you never said.
But I can't say it right.
You have an English thing going on, but that's to be expected. I don't expect you to
sound like I'm Polish.
Very impressed, though.
Thanks.
Very impressed.
For trying.
Anyway, so in that chapter in that book, there's an example, and it said, listen, what if there was a thorn in your fucking arm, stuck out that far, okay? And it was the most excruciating fucking thorn. I mean, a millisecond of touch ruins your entire day. It is horrible.
Okay.
You have two options. Option number one, you think about your day from start to finish, okay? Every single thing you're going to do that day, you prepare the surroundings to make sure that you don't get your thorn touched, okay? So let's say you have to walk through, I don't know, a fucking forest to get to your parking lot, to get to your car, right? That means that every single day or 2 times a week or whatever you're going to have to do, you're going to have to trim the branches on the sides of the fucking path. You're going to have to make sure the path is free of debris so you don't accidentally trip and potentially touch your thorn. You're going to make sure leaves aren't overgrowing so that they don't potentially touch your thorn. You're going to spend so much time preparing that alley so you can walk through it. And then when you get into your car, you're going to have to think about every single thing that could potentially touch your thorn. You got to make sure the seatbelt is probably enveloped in some sort of bubble shit, and you're going to spend hours on hours on hours and infinite energy on making sure that the things you do every day don't fucking touch your thorn.
To avoid it.
To avoid not getting your thorn touched. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can grab the fucking thorn, almost die from the pain, but yank it out. And it's the most, you will pass out from the pain. But once it's out, you don't have to fucking do anything else. Everybody has the option A. Their thorn is an emotional problem that they have never, ever tried to do anything about. Abandonment issues, fear of being alone, all these different things. And all they do all day long is they just make sure that everyone they talk to, everyone they associate with, everywhere they work, they just fucking plant shit to make sure nothing touches their thorn. And that's why everyone's fucking tired all the time and they haven't done anything. They haven't created anything. They haven't fucking moved anywhere. They've just spent all their life making an environment to avoid their thorn.
It's exhausting.
A lot more exhausting than it is the pain that it would take to just yank that fucker out. And then you can go anywhere, do anything, and you're at peace.
And you're free.
Because you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So whether you leave, my friends leave, my employees leave, all those things, like my thorn, I've worked really fucking hard to have it come out.
Mm-hmm.
And if something hits me, I don't have to worry about it because it's not going to be excruciating.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that peace is why things connect.
Mm-hmm.
It's the irony of life. If I am like, there's a monk, this like Himalayan monk lives in this monastery, and he did a video. I don't know if monks are allowed to do video. He did this fucking video.
Oh, but he was loud.
He did. Hope he's still a monk. I don't know. Shout out, dude. All right. He takes a rosary or a necklace that he had, and he goes and it's dangling. Right. You know what? Let's do that. I have to.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Since we're
Give me the visual.
Since we're visual people. Okay. Shout out Project Power. On that. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually an advertisement right now. So. Right.
So this is something you want.
Okay.
This is you as a person. When you take something you want, you're going to pull it towards you.
Mm-hmm.
And every single second that you're pulling it towards you, it gets closer to the potential of getting away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's as close as it can be. And then since you're still pouring it towards you, it swings away. Well, what happens when you try to push things you don't want away? You take it, you push it away. I don't want you. I don't want you. Guess what it goes? Right back at you. So if you just fucking let it be there,
mm-hmm.
it never fucks with you. And then you can just observe it. And if you don't want to observe it anymore, you look away.
Okay. That's a little mind-blowing.
Don't pull shit towards you. Don't push shit away.
Is that why if something's for you, it's for you?
It just
is?
If you're letting your arm away, you'll finally be able to have it. Yeah. When you have a beautiful flower and you pluck it out of the fucking ground so you can look at it and have it and hold it, what's it do?
Dies.
Can't. You got to let it just grow in the fucking soil and just go, that's a beautiful flower. I'll see you tomorrow. And that piece is where everyone fucks up because they want it. Or they say no. And all you do is the opposite.
How do you find peace?
You don't fucking try. You're okay. You have to get to a point where like, and it's not a constant. I'm not saying that that's like this is not a destination. This is not like I'm at peace.
It's a way of life.
It's a practice.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Life is just moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's an average of moments. And if you're looking to the next moment before you finish this moment, you're not in life. You're in anxiety.
Yeah.
You have to, because you can't do anything later. Later doesn't exist.
You've taught me that.
Right. Be here right now, like this.
Mm-hmm.
And do this as good as this can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And then what it will be is exactly what it should be. Whether that answer is something that pleases you or displeases you, it's the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you never know what it is until you look back on it. Because things can be awful because I'm so ignorant, I can't see the future. So I'm assuming this is either great for my future or really bad for my future. But you're not God. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
So how the hell can you possibly think that what's happening right now has anything to do with what you want tomorrow? Can't. It is impossible. We talked about that farmer, right?
Yeah.
The Chinese farmer.
Tell it.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Chinese farmer, it's just one guy, wife's died, and it's a son, and they're poor as can be. Mm-hmm. Okay. So son, father, farmers, poor.
You are dumb. Just kidding.
Yeah. I like story. Me tell.
Me tell story.
Me tell story.
Farmer, daddy.
So. Anyway, canceled immediately. Sorry. So
this logo is not.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Everything's organic. That's what I own right there. So one day, okay, it's a poor village. So like animals are like the most best currency, right? Cows and horses and stuff. So a Arabian horse, one of the most expensive animals on the planet, just shows up on their property. Mm-hmm. And that's townsfolk. It's a small village. So townsfolk roll over and they're like, congratulations. You're rich. You have a fucking Arabian horse. I'm ripping something up.
It's this stupid, you can undo it.
No, that's fine.
It's like Velcroed on because it's from Bob's Furniture from when I lived in an apartment.
Shout out, Bob.
They're the That's cheaper.
It's cheap as shit, but it works. It does its thing. It won't move.
You're just like,
it won't move.
People are just listening. They're like, is he falling off a cliff right now?
I'm ripping the mattress.
Yeah, actually, I'm just such a man. I am shredding this
scared of me.
sofa.
No big deal. Back to the horse.
Okay. You should talk in that other voice. That was good.
Do you like my Barry White voice? Does that do it for you? Sound like that wheelchair guy from Family Guy.
I had every Family Guy episode on CD.
Oh my God.
Or DVD.
It's DVD.
Yeah.
Unless you're just listening to them. I don't know if is it music? Do you have a Family Guy soundtrack? It's just the opening montage for 7 CDs.
You get in my car back then, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Is there a fucking video somewhere?
No, just listening to it.
I like his voice.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry.
Fucking horse. All right, damn it. Village comes and says, hey, you're rich. And the dad, the old farmer, says, we'll see. And they're like, what the fuck you mean we'll see? Like, you're rich. He goes, we'll see. And the next day, his son's trying to ride the horse. Horse bucks him off, snaps his leg. He doesn't have any help. How the hell is he going to get all the crops mowed and whatever you do to crops and mowed? What's the fucking word? Combine? Combine. You take the combine and you go through the fucking field.
Combine?
Combine. That's how you say it in Polish.
It's okay. I'm like, hold on.
Combine. That's yeah. Anyway,
Combine.
So you have to do farm work, and so he's down his son's hands. So obviously, like they're just like it's the end. Like you're not going to be able to harvest all your shit. So the townsfolk come and go, "Oh my goodness, this is the worst news of all time. We're so sorry." And the farmer goes, "We'll see." And they're like, "What do you mean? This is awful." The following day, the Chinese army shows up to their village and is taking all the able-bodied of-age males to go die in war. And guess what? They show up to his house, and his son's got a broken leg, and they can't take him. So they leave his son, and they spare him. So then all the fucking town folk go, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky your son was spared." And he just says, "We'll see." So like, you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You don't know if this disaster is a disaster. And you don't know if this lottery win is a lottery win. You just don't know. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to just be fucking unhappy all the time.
Yeah,
right?
true.
People assume, like, we're such a society that, like, proclaims entertainment that if you're not a level 40, something's wrong with you. You're boring.
Yes.
There's no entertainment. Like, they're just, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where you should live. You should live in the middle so that you can feel the positive and you can deal with the negative.
Yeah.
But if you pretend to be positive the whole fucking time, the moment things get a little negative, you freak the fuck out. You're like, this isn't how it's supposed to be. Or if you live in the negative, anything that's actually good that's happening for you, you don't admit and you pretend it's not good.
Well, and the neutral, like, feels safe.
Neutral is safe.
And
it's
that's
peaceful.
what I, as a woman, want. Like, I want someone who, like, is unfucking phased by shit. Like, even if it's awful. Okay, yeah, that sucks, but, like the story, like, there's possibly a silver lining. Well, there's always a silver lining, but there's possibly, like, a good thing that actually comes out of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I just wish more people would relax a little instead of just always reacting.
Yeah.
And the world would be so much nicer of a place. I mean, you see it on the internet all the time. If people would just pause for a second,
yeah,
there'd be so much less hate.
Because it's not really hate.
Yeah.
It's just it's monkey see, monkey do.
And it's like emotion. It's just high strung emotion and people aren't even like being rational.
It's because when my daughter was born, she had no input. She had no hard drive. She had no software. All she had was hard drive. She was just a spirit that was intuitive.
Yeah.
Right? Babies don't know anything, yet they figure out how to eat and drink and sleep and digest and have their heartbeat. And they kind of start crawling towards things that they want and away from things that they don't want. And like, there's no input there. Like, that's the coolest thing about observing a little kid is like, it reminds you that that's the essence. That's how we make decisions. And that never should change. We think it should change because of the bullshit input that we've been given by parents and grandparents and teachers and successful people and all these people. Because when you're a kid and you're in an environment that feels bad, you go, this is bad. But then here's these authoritative figures that say, oh, no, everything is fine, little Timmy. mommy and daddy love you. Everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, hold up, because it doesn't feel good. But if this not good feeling is okay, then I must be confused. Let me now link up this bad feeling with the word okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sprout with that versus just acknowledging, hey, things aren't okay, but that's okay. So like when we had that conversation, we're like, I'm positive about things not being okay.
Yeah.
Right? If I have a garden and there's weeds, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to break down. I'm not going to fucking hide in my house for the next 2 weeks because I have some weeds in my garden. But I am going to acknowledge that they're fucking weeds. And then I just get to work pulling them. It's the people on both sides that really fuck that up. They look at their weed garden and they go, what a beautiful weed. It's a beautiful weed. It's organic and it's nice. And it's like, no, it's not. It's a fucking weed.
Well, and that's also avoidant.
Exactly.
Which is literally like the thorn situation.
Exactly.
It's just making your life harder.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Or you go, I don't want a garden anymore. I never wanted gardens. Fuck gardens. Because there's a weed.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, yeah, overreact a little bit.
A little bit much.
Yeah.
But much. I don't even need to do all that. You know?
I feel like people kind of do that with the gym.
Everything.
Like everything in life. Yeah.
Everything.
Like they
pretend they don't want it.
Yeah. Or they just I was talking about this on my last podcast because I recorded with my friends earlier, and we were talking about how like we push things away that we feel like we don't deserve, like subconsciously. And I think a lot of people do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Where like we think we want it, but then when we actually get it, we're like, nope, that doesn't feel right because it doesn't feel comfortable because you grew up or were around or exposed to something that was like total opposite of that, but it doesn't mean that was what was best for you.
For sure. I talked to a new member today. He does solar panels and he literally, we joked because he's like, I literally have to make up bad things to say because right now he goes, it is literally too good to be true. I show up to your house. I can sell you solar panels. Every gigawatt or whatever of energy that you create with your solar panel is equal to the cost of the panel, which means your electric in your house is not necessary anymore. So your bill stops existing. You don't have an electric bill because you're creating electricity with your solar panels.
Right.
It also doesn't cost you anything because the cost of your monthly bill is the payment of the solar panels.
Oh, do you pay monthly for it then?
So exactly what you pay for your electric just now becomes the bill for the solar panels they installed, which there's an end to because the solar panels cost, let's say, $10,000 and you have a $150 electric bill, right?
So they make like a payment plan like that?
So then you pay $150 like you were.
Like a month until it's paid off.
Until you reach 10 grand and now you have solar panels and free electric.
A bunch of my neighbors have them and I'm like, do I need to get these?
Okay, so him and I are talking and I'm like, bro, it's the downside. He goes, that's the point. There is not literally a downside, but I have to make up one because if I explain this to people and say the truth, there's a fine.
Thank you.
They won't believe me because people are programmed, like I said, doesn't feel right, been told it is.
Yeah, what's the catch? They're like waiting for
where's the other shoe to drop?
Yeah.
You know, right? Instead of just being like, this is right and this is good and this can be.
Yeah.
You're
trying to find a problem.
Yeah, you're creating problems because you just assume there is one.
I wonder if his like downfall is like, yeah, we get hail every once in a while and you have to replace them.
What I don't remember what he told me what he said.
That's all I can think of is they would get shattered from the hail because we've had, a bajillion hailstorms in the last 2 years here.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a funny thing. He goes, he's like, I literally have to lie and say there's something wrong. Like, well, if you're this type of person, then it doesn't work for you. Like those people don't exist.
Maybe just like how it looks on your house, you could say. I don't fucking know. That is so sad that you have to make up reasons to like not like it so that people believe that you're not fabricating something.
That's unfortunately, we also live in a society where lying is the same as the truth if you can get away with it.
Yeah. But I just wonder now, like, okay, then what do people do when they're in like a healthy relationship and their friends and stuff are like, okay, so where are your problems? And they're like, well, there isn't any. It's like, is that real?
So don't you think though that true peace and strength kind of will supersede any of those inputs? Because just as an entrepreneur sits on the front line alone.
Yeah.
You too, in a relationship or really anything that's working, you're alone. So
it's only you and that. If it's a relationship, it's only you two that understand it. So no one else's input really matters.
Unless you have an example of someone else who also has one of those.
True. Like another couple that would get that has the same dynamic or something, maybe.
If you wouldn't switch lives with them with what they're giving you advice for, don't listen to the advice.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Don't go to a mechanic whose car's broken. Don't go to a poor financial advisor.
Don't go to a trainer who's fat. Go to Bart.
Just saying. It makes sense. Just makes sense. So if you just stick to that, you don't really listen to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's true.
You can be nice to them. You can be cordial. You don't have to say that what they're saying is bullshit. But you go, oh, that's awesome advice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm way happier than you.
Yeah, I'm not taking that, actually. I'm just being nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, and there's nothing wrong with that. And on top of that, listening to the advice is one thing, but like implementing into your life and like holding it as a truth, like a universal truth. Like, do you understand? Like, that should be a you only thing. Look in the mirror, look at your relationship with God, whatever, the universe, law of attraction, whatever you got to do. And that's the source. And then everything else is just, colors on the color wheel. And just acknowledge that there's not one color that's better than the other. But, you are one of those colors, and make sure that whatever you're painting your life with is, complementary to that color.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, what's the topic for today? What questions do you have?
That was it.
We did it?
Yeah.
I thought this was still like prelims, like before we record.
No, we're out of time, actually.
58 minutes, actually, right there.
Are we? Yeah. On my little EMOM timer?
Yeah, every minute on the minute. We did not do good at answering the questions.
Actually. You answered a couple of them.
Did I?
Yeah.
What was one of them? Oh, the asses. We started with asses.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended. I ended with 3 proverbs of Chinese descent. After you asking me about injecting fat into a girl's ass.
I wanted to know how to get a dumpy.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even cover that.
You kind of did. You said don't inject your ass and do single leg unilateral movements. Okay. And I think there might have been a part where you said to go to Project Power Gym. That's where you get.
I'm not going to shamelessly do that. I'm not going to say that you need to go.
We're not plugging your gym at all. Seriously, though, thank you for taking the time again. I've had you on like 4 times now.
I'm always down to have a good conversation.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Even if, we go on tangents. That's what it's about, though. It's my favorite thing.
Organic.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, be loud, be proud, and be shameless.